I wasn't born into wealth, but I was born into love. My mother always said, if your heart is clean, your road will open. I believed her, and I believed in hard work. At 27, I got the job I had prayed for. Position at a logistics firm in Lagos. It wasn't the biggest paycheck, but it was enough to eat, to send money home, and to hold my head high. For me, that was success. His name was Samuel. We started the same day, shared meals, shared jokes. We were more than colleagues, we were like brothers. Or so I thought. Then one day, the numbers didn't add up. Money had gone missing. And just like that, the office turned cold, whispers, fingers, eyes, they all pointed at me. Security came. No one said a word. I was escorted out of the office like a thief. And Samuel, he stood there watching. No words, just a quiet smile. My rent expired. My phone line died. My friends disappeared. I lost everything in 2 weeks. Everything, except my breath. I slept under bridges, wrapped myself in newspapers, bathing in public places, eating when I could, praying when I couldn't. I was alive but not really living. At night, I saw Samuel in my dreams laughing, getting promoted, living the life I lost. And I was just a ghost, bathing behind a public toilet, begging to survive. One day, I asked a woman for food. She looked at me and said, "You're too strong to beg. Go and work." I smiled, not because it was funny, but because I didn't want her to see my tears. That day I had no plan, no strength, no help. But something inside me whispered, "Keep walking." And so I did. I walked. With no destination, just the hope that maybe, somehow, my road would still open. 3 years passed. Life had been unkind, but I kept walking, one silent day at a time. I didn't expect much anymore. Until one morning, everything changed. I was walking past a crumbling building, just looking for leftover bread. That's when I saw him, Samuel, the same man who betrayed me. The same man who stood silent as my life fell apart. He looked nothing like the man I once knew. His clothes were torn, his body weak. He was mumbling to himself, struggling to stand. Life had turned the tables. Everything in me boiled. I wanted to walk away. I wanted to let him suffer. After all, didn't he deserve it? But then I heard my mother's voice in my head. If your heart is clean, your road will open. And in that moment, I chose something different. I chose mercy. I walked into a chemist and spent my last 1,000 naira on medicine. I bought food, found clean water, and sat beside him. He didn't even recognize me at first. When he did, his eyes filled with tears. He said, "I'm sorry. I was greedy. I didn't think it would cost you everything." And then he cried. I didn't hug him. I didn't curse him either. I just nodded and stood up to leave. That was enough. What I didn't know was that someone had been watching. Inside, a man had seen everything. A man who had also lost faith in people. The next day, I sat outside a bakery, hungry again. That same man in the SUV walked up to me. He said, "I saw what you did yesterday. Most people would have walked away. You didn't." He was the owner of a growing business. He told me he'd just lost his company driver and was looking for someone he could trust. He didn't ask for a CV. He didn't test me. He offered me a job. Just like that. That's how I found myself wearing a clean uniform again, smiling again, earning again, all because I chose kindness over revenge. Peace came slowly. I wasn't rich, but I could afford bread and beans. I had a mattress again, a pillow, and most importantly, I had peace, not because life was perfect, but because I didn't have to fight to survive anymore. Mr. Deo, the man who gave me the job, he was quiet. He observed more than he spoke. One day he said to me, "The way you helped that man reminded me of my son." I never asked what happened to his son, but I never forgot his words. 1 month into the job, I became supervisor. 6 months later, I was handling transport accounts. After a year, I moved into a small flat with my name on the rent receipt. I used to sleep on the street. Now I had a key and a door I could lock. That's when I met Blessing. She worked at the canteen near our office. She never smiled, always serious. One day she gave me the wrong change and chased me down the road to return it. That's when I knew I had found someone with a good heart. It took months before I told her everything. My story, the betrayal, the hunger, what Samuel did, how I nearly chose revenge. She looked at me, held my hand, and said, "That pain trained you for this version of you." And that night, I cried, not from pain, but from peace. The kind of peace that only comes after a storm. Looking back now, I know this. If I had chosen revenge, I would have lost everything again. Maybe even my life. But kindness opened a door I never knew existed. Years later, I went back to that broken street where I saw Samuel. He was gone. Nobody knew what happened to him. But I prayed he found peace too. My mother's words, "If your heart is clean, your road will open." She was right. It wasn't revenge that saved me. It was kindness. And it didn't just save my life. It saved my soul. These days, I go back to the places where I once sat in silence, the corners where I once begged, the gutters I once called home. Not because I miss the struggle, but because someone else is sitting there now. Sometimes I leave bread. Sometimes I just sit beside them, because I know how it feels to be invisible. One rainy morning, I saw a boy, maybe 10 years old, torn shirt, cracked slippers, hiding behind a food stall, shivering. I took off my coat and wrapped it around him. He looked at me and said, "Thank you," like it was the first time anyone had ever spoken to him with kindness. People often ask me, why help strangers? What if they lie to you? What if they don't deserve it? I smile and say, what if they do? I didn't deserve to be betrayed. Someone still gave me a chance. Kindness doesn't ask for receipts. Blessing and I now run a small food kitchen. She cooks. I drive. We don't have millions, but we have peace, and we have purpose. Every night we sleep knowing we filled a stomach, and maybe, just maybe, healed a heart. I used to think revenge would make me feel powerful, but now I know kindness is the greatest power. It doesn't just change others, it changes you. And to you, listening now, maybe someone hurt you. Maybe they betrayed your trust, stole your joy, broke your heart. And maybe you're holding on to the weight of that pain. I understand, but please hear this. Your pain does not define you, and letting go isn't weakness. It's the start of freedom. The next time you get the chance to hurt someone who once hurt you, breathe, pause, and choose the harder thing, kindness. Because that path you're avoiding might just lead to the life you've been praying for. Your story isn't over. Your breakthrough is still ahead. And sometimes the person you save is yourself. Have you ever had the chance to choose between bitterness and kindness? To strike back or walk away with your dignity intact? Today you watched a man grow through pain. but come out stronger, freer, and more human. Now I want to ask you, what would you have done? Would you have chosen revenge? Would you have forgiven? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your heart, because your voice matters here. This is more than a story. It's a mirror. For me, for you, for all of us. So if you felt something today, if a part of you healed or cried or remembered, click that like button. Not for me, but for every soul who needs to hear this next. And if you believe in stories that change lives, then join this tribe by subscribing now. We've got more stories coming, more truth, more healing, more raw, beautiful humanity. So turn on notifications and stay close. This is where real stories live. And you're part of it now. Thank you for watching.